So today's practice is based a little bit on couple of dharana techniques from the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra, and very simple practices, but we will try to just kind of focus on that. So the practice is that we try to focus on the heart center, the the Anahata chakra area. So so there are a couple of things here which we do. One is we try to focus on visualizing at this point at the heart, and here we visualize the space, and we also chant the mantra Om. The mental repetition of the mantra Om. So initially what we do is when we chant the mantra Om, we visualize here at the heart center like a lotus. We visualize a lotus at the heart center. And we can visualize the Om symbol also. So we visualize the mantra, the Om symbol, and the lotus at the heart center. And then slowly what we do is we chant the mantra Om, and what it is said in the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra is that we don't kind of keep on saying Om, 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 Om like that, So we say Om and we give a little break. And we try to feel that peace, that what he calls as the void, he says like one who repeats the pranava while concentrating on the void for protracted periods. And by that void, the transcendental Shakti is revealed, he says, So then in another of that sutra, he says, one who contemplates with closed eyes on the mantra in the middle of the lotus in the heart space achieves the highest spiritual realization. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to focus at this point of the heart space. And mentally we chant Om, and we just allow the gap. We just allow that period of gap. And there we can feel peace or feel presence or whatever. But we allow that gap to permeate us, to fill us with that, with a sense of joy and peace and whatever, And then we keep on coming back. So initially I will guide you, but later on you can do it on your own for a few minutes, okay? So as usual, we start with a few pranayama. Either you can do alternate nostril breathing, or you can do deep inhalation and exhalation. I'm going to just do the alternate nostril breathing for a few times. The anulom vilom. You don't have to hold for too long. Just breathe in naturally. Hold the breath for a few seconds and breathe out through the other nostril. Breathe in and hold just for 1 or 2 seconds and breathe out completely. So now you can just relax, take a deep breath, exhale out. Now bring your mind to the point, the heart space, the center of the chest area. You can keep your eye gaze lifted up and slightly if you like, so that you don't have to feel drowsy. Or wherever you're used to. If you're used to looking at the point between the eyebrows, that's fine. If you're used to looking at the point at the nose, that's fine as well. But the important thing is to bring your mind mentally at the point between the heart space. Try to feel that center. You can also try to feel a sense of natural presence of divine presence of your own self at that point. And now at that point, you can also try to visualize a lotus. A lotus represents the dawning of spiritual realization, the awakening of that spiritual, it is the flowering, the opening of the spiritual consciousness in us. So we try to visualize the lotus at the heart space as recommended in the Vijnana Bhairav Tantra as one of the effective meditation methods for awakening the divine consciousness. Now, in that lotus, we can visualize the symbol Om, especially if you can visualize it in the Sanskrit text as Om, that's even better. If not, whatever you are comfortable with, you can visualize it that way. And what we are going to do is mentally, I'm going to chant Om. I'm going to chant Om, but you do it mentally. And when you mentally chant Om, try to tune in to the period in between where there is no sound, where there is a void or the gap in between the sounds. So that gap in between these sounds, before we were not conscious about. Now we become conscious to that. Because in that gap, in that void, is the presence of the divine. That is the doorway for divine consciousness. So I'm going to chant Om a few times and I'm going to allow a short gap in between the chanting. So you try to mentally follow me if you can. Om. 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 Try to tune into that void or the gap in between the sounds. Instead of considering it as just an empty void, try to fill that with your own feeling of presence, of tuning into the presence in between the gaps. Oh. 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 Long, protracted periods of silence, and in that silence is the presence of divine consciousness. And in that silence is not just a mere void, empty void, but a divine presence. We can try to tune into that in between this. Oh. 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 Our minds are usually used to all the gross sounds that we hear. In meditation, we make our mind subtler and subtler so that we can tune in to these subtle, deep sounds that are resonating in the universe and right within us. These sublime sounds of Om, the soundless roar, the soundless presence. You can try and tune in that silence. And in fact, that silence is the substratum, it is the ground on which all sounds arises from. We try to think of silence as something that occurs between sounds, but silence is actually the background. Silence is the ground from which every sound arises and again merges back into. And the silence is not just an emptiness. The silence is a presence. It is a presence of a divine state. A state where we are not caught just in our senses. A state where we are not just absorbed in our intellectual and mental thinking. A state that transcends all of these. Oh. Now just try to visualize the center of your heart space, a lotus or any flower that you can connect to. And the presence of either the sound of Om or the visual letter of Om, whatever you can connect to. Try to tune into that at the center of your heart space for the last few minutes of this meditation. Slowly you can feel that the heart center is opening up. You can also invoke the presence of any deity or any light or any kind of thing that arouses in you that divine consciousness, that spiritual consciousness. But stay centered at this point between the heart center, the heart space. You can continue to chant Om and feel that silence. Or you can just stay in that presence for the last few minutes. Just try to enjoy that presence, the divine consciousness right in your heart space. Try to feel and tune in rather than think about it or intellectually trying to conceptualize that. Try to just stay with that sense of feeling. Just relax and let go of all mental effort. Try to tune in just to a sense of peace and rest, kind of an effortless meditation, trying to let go of all mental striving and to just relax and let go of the mind. You can invoke a sense of gratitude for having made this effort, for this opportunity. You can also bring to your mind some kind of positive intention, sankalpa, something that you wish to, some change, some transformation that you would like to see in your life. Or just to say that you want to be a calm, positive, happy person. That also is a good sankalpa to have. Reinforce that sankalpa with some kind of divine connection, that whatever you have an intention for, it is being strengthened by a force or an energy that is higher than your limited self. You are trusting that positive intention in the hands of the divine consciousness. We can just say a closing prayer. Chant that the meaning of the prayer is we're praying to that divine, the universal consciousness, that may we be led from darkness to light, from ignorance to wisdom, and from that what is unreal, that what is false reality, to the ultimate highest reality. Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.